Hello everyone, it's Christine here, and it is absolutely lovely to welcome you to our next stitch along. So we are stitching designs from the 1800s, the Briggs patent catalogue containing transfer embroidery designs. And the design I picked for this week is this lovely fuchsia. So I've just taken for my design the two bottom leaves, this leaf here, that top leaf, and the bloom, and I've disregarded the rest of the elements. I've slightly tweaked this leaf just to fit within this beautiful already embroidered doily that I'm working on. I've left a bit of space because I think I'm probably going to add a name here. I've even got a immediate idea for how this might be used, but otherwise it could be just a lovely way to create a card for someone. I was thinking you could even make a very sweet little sort of like, this could be the outer of an envelope and have this coming over like the little flap, and you just need to put a little bit of fabric at the back. So I thought that could be cute. It could even be a lovely place to put glasses or something. So lots of possibilities. And so I have picked out the cottons that I'm going to be using because I want to replicate the fuchsia that looks like this. So it's actually on the screen when I'm looking at it through this. It's coming out a little bit more. That's looking more blue than it's actually purpley coloured in the picture. So I'm going to use the purple, this fuchsia colour, and this green. So I'm going to bring you down a bit because I want you to be able to see the stitching, and I want to be able to see what you can see. And I will pop it in the hoop. And so I hope we're already having a lovely chat. I'm sure we will be in the live chat when this is premiering. And so if you're watching this while it's playing live, just have a look down below the video. If you're not already in the live chat, you should be able to see a little swipey thing to be able to get into the live chat. So I'm going to, I think, I'll start up the top here. And I think I'll just do either a back stitch or a split stitch. See what takes my fancy. I think probably because this is thick enough, I can probably do a back stitch. Let's see how that looks. I can always quickly change it into a split stitch without too much trouble. I think actually no, I'm going to do the split stitch. I just think it gives a more even outline. So I just did a joining stitch between those two back stitches to, oops, and I've just undone that by coming up through the same hole. So I'll actually just do a stitch down here, and then we'll continue on with the correct method. So with the split stitch, you're just popping up part way through in the middle of your previous stitch to split the thread, hence why it's called that. Actually, I should have probably gone the other way, so I'm just going to work my way back. I think I actually prefer stitching this way around for some reason. And so I've just traced the design on using the window with my red friction marker. In this instance, it really doesn't matter what colour, because the plan is that I will stitch all the way on top of where I have the marker anyway. But it does iron off the friction marker. Always good to test on fabric if you are doing it. And if you're in very cold climates, it can come back because it doesn't actually completely disappear. The heat makes the pigment I'm not sure what it actually makes disappear, but basically, yeah, it disappears but it still remains on the surface, and it gets reactivated if it goes like in the freezer or in very, very cold temperatures. In Australia, we don't get, possibly up at the alpine, but very few people live in actual full-on alpine areas here in Australia. And really, with the climate changing, we're getting even less and less snow each year in our alpine areas. As I know it's happening the world over, the glaciers are forever retreating in Switzerland and other places that have glaciers. So I hope you're having, this will be playing on Saturday night, so hopefully you're having a lovely weekend. It'll only be the start of the weekend for some, but for those of us in Australia, it's Saturday evening. And in fact, it's going to be a very exciting weekend for me because I am going to the Fleur Woods workshop here in Melbourne, in Garden Vale, at a lovely studio of Madeline Stamer. And I believe there's a studio dog there as well. So I just loved when I was at Green Door, Zoe's lovely dog. Travis loved having a play. Travis won't probably come to the studio this time. Last time Alex was dropping me off and picking me up each day because we're up on holidays and I only had the one car with us. But Alex and Travis will be having a boys' weekend. I think he might, which would be lovely, take his parents. Maybe even I've suggested they go down to Phillip Island and go to the lovely dog-friendly pizza place at a winery down there. I think that would be a lovely treat for them. I have to take my parents down there sometime too. Take Lucy the dog for an outing. So I'm actually filming this on Wednesday evening, isn't it? Yep. Amazingly, I've actually got all my Roxy piece for this 2 weeks done, and it's only halfway through. But it's good because I've got a few things I want to get done before, or at least for during the Fleur Woods workshop. A few little gifty things for some of the folks that will be there. And for Fleur, so yes, I want to get those done, but I thought I should get this done and get it loaded so that it's ready to go, because I'll be at the workshop on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And no doubt I'll be so energised and stimulated by the workshop that I'll be coming home and wanting to keep stitching on the pieces. Although sometimes it's good to give yourself a bit of a break too and not get too carried away. I think actually no, I will do these little accents in the middle, but I'm going to not do it as a pure split stitch. I'm going to work my way, so I'm going to do a stitch up here and then a stitch up the top, because I want to get my thread back down to where I can continue around without travelling it too much. So I'm then going to split this stitch here, if I can. Sometimes it's hard to get the needle to exactly split it without undoing it, and then I'll take that one. I could do a slightly longer stitch. And then we can continue our way around. So as you can see, the split stitch is just giving, a really lovely outline, I think. And I've got fuchsias out at the moment. Mum gave me a lovely pot of them, so at least they were out a week ago. I will just check that they're still out. If they are, I might even, if this video ends up going over 2 filming sessions, I might try and bring one up, or maybe put one with the photo for this video if I can. Whether I do this all in one session or not will depend if, well, 1 on the time, and 2 if Alex and Travis come up to head off to bed. I remembered I had to do my tax return because October's the end of the month. If you're doing a self-prepared tax return, you have to do it by the end of October here in Australia. So I did that quickly after work today. It's not my favourite thing in life admin, I'd have to say. My favourite thing is crafting, but these needs be must. Don't want to get a fine from the tax office. And you always feel a bit accomplished when you do a bit of life admin. It's like, yep, good on me. Now I can stitch. But that was my little sort of thing to myself. It was like, until you've done this, Christine, you can't do your evening stitching. And then I was packaging up a Happy Mail giveaway package for the lovely Nicole, who won one of my bespoke slow stitchy packs on Annie Claxton's Arty Farty Annie Live most recently, and Nicole's been travelling, so she wanted me to hold off sending it, so I was just putting the final touches on it tonight, and it will be in the post tomorrow. And I filmed a little video because I know you love having a look at what I've kind of got in my stash. And I love creating bespoke packs where someone can tell me their colours and what they're after in it, and then I can sort of, go shopping my stash to find goodies. And I think after the Fleur workshop it will be time for another just because little sort of draw from those who've been commenting on my videos. In fact, the last one that I shared, the person didn't come forward and claim it. So I suppose not everyone watches every video, but I don't want to mention a giveaway in the titles or anything. So, and I did, I posted on that person's comment, their most recent comment, to let them know that they were the winner, or the person drawn out. But no, they mustn't have seen it. I don't know if YouTube sometimes doesn't easily show the comments. Sometimes I can't see the replies unless I'm looking in a particular part of the comment section, if that makes sense, where someone replies to your comment. So last week on this, while we were having our chat during the premiere, we were talking about pork pies and all sorts of foods. We were joking that we always end up talking about food, stitching and food. But I do enjoy hearing about specialties in other countries or even other parts of the country. So at the corner I usually sort of come back and bring a stitch back to get to sort of a pointy edge, so I'm not doing a full split stitch there. It's a lovely colour, this, actually. And I think it goes well with the colours that are already on the doily. It's funny, this doily, I pulled it out recently because I thought, oh, isn't that beautiful? And then it's been floating around. It just seems to keep reappearing in my craft room. And that's why when I was thinking about this week's Stitch Along, I thought, okay, it's telling me that it wants to be stitched on. And so it was just finding something that might be the right sort of, something that was a bit longer to do. I did look at some of the repeating border designs that are in the Briggs catalogue. Actually, let me come back and I'll just do this bit up here as well. I'll do it the same way where I do some stitches up but then come back down with my stitches as well. So I've done one stitch there and then I'll leave a gap and do another stitch and another little stitch back this way. And we'll be able to have a look at the end to see how neat I've managed to keep it on the back. But by just sort of going up and then filling in the stitches on the back, it should be keeping it relatively neat. Oops, except when you undo your stitch. So just do a backy stitch there. So yeah, I think I'm going pretty well on the back, not as well as the proper embroiderers do, but I'll take that. As Annie says, I probably, she was talking about, it's her jacket that she's doing, her amazing painted jacket. This is Annie from Arty Farty Annie. And yeah, when she does her embroidery, she was saying she'll use the waist knot where you tie a knot a bit off from the end, and then you put some stitches, do some sort of back stitches over it to start, and then that way you can cut it off. So it's a waist knot, it's something that you'll remove. So in the design, I'm just going to have a look. So yeah, this one kind of twists over a bit, so I've got to just tighten it up so I can put sometimes it's hard to get the needle to come up exactly where you want it. There we go. I just do a stitch coming back here. I just want to keep that nice and fine where I'm going to have to do the little flick of the petal. Well, no, I won't come down yet. I can do that in a moment. I was just thinking, when do I do that little flicky bit in the middle section? Come up to here first. I think. And then I can come down here. Come down here. Put this little detail in. It's all these little details that help to give the sense of the plant. Oops, try not to stitch. So I'll do a backy stitch to a back split stitch which is sometimes easier if you are undoing your stitch. And then I will just need to, actually I can pop across here, do the similar thing, just because I don't want to have huge runs on the back of the fabric with thread. So I'll come up here, come up here. Yeah, I love using these Perle. What size are they? Perle 8 or Perle. You know, my friend Heather, she was from Creepy Cutie Crafty. She was trying to work out if it's Perle or Perle. I don't know. I use both. I think Perle, but I'm not sure. That would be kind of pronouncing all of it. Whereas in French, I suppose they tend to not be, like in Italian, you'd pronounce every syllable, but in French less so. So maybe it is just Perle. Not sure. If you're a French viewer watching this, let us know, is it Perle or Perle? I'm thinking I am erring more towards Perle, I think. I like saying Perle. Like I'm catching my finger on it at the back, even though I put a hand cream on. So I'll come up here, do this edge piece, and then I'll come down there and there, I think. Oops, come on. It almost sounded like a wolf howl out the window, but we don't get wolves. Probably just a dog. We do have wolfy looking dogs around here. There's one that always barks at Travis in the morning when he's in the little park down the street, although Travis is getting much better. He used to get quite excited when it barked at him, but yeah, he can override his sort of excitement these days. I think he's actually quite protective, so I think that's why if a dog's barking is kind of, and I've got him on the lead, he thinks he needs to kind of be on alert to keep mum safe, which is very sweet. I do feel safe with him. And at home, he'll only bark if someone's coming near the property. He's not just a dog that barks for the sake of it. Sometimes he tries talking, which is very funny. In fact, we had to take him to the vet yesterday because he had a little lump under his chin, but they think it's probably, nothing to be concerned about. They've said to monitor it, obviously, but it was hard and sort of a bit crusty, so they think it could even just be like a little wart or something. I asked if that's likely caught from like the dog park or something, and she said, no, they sometimes just get them, and sometimes they'll go away, or if it becomes problematic, they can remove it. But yeah, she didn't think it was anything to be concerned about, which is good. Because naturally, I was concerned about it when we discovered it, and I think it's come on pretty quickly. So I think I've done everything there that I need to. Yes, got the little bit up the top. I'm actually wondering if I should have put an extra little stitch up here. Is that going to travel too far on the back? What I'll do, if you don't want to travel it too far, you can just sort of weave it under your stitches on the back. I just think there's a missing stitch up here where this little bobbly bit comes in. Oops, and I've now caught myself. And then I just feel like I just need to put an extra little stitch across there, perhaps, and an extra little stitchy stitch down here. So I think that's pretty good. And I think I've been relatively neat. In fact, I'm probably as neat as the other stitching on the back here. I won't be too critical of myself. Again, I probably should be doing little back stitches to finish it. No, I like a knot. Okay, and so then we can move on to our purple centre. I haven't done all my pre-threading of needles, just the first one, so wish me luck. Yay. Probably shouldn't speak too soon. Okay, and then we'll just continue around here. How are we going for time? 22 minutes. I might need to, yeah, we'll see how we go. But the leaves might end up having to do a bit of off camera on those. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do particularly sort of interesting stitches. I guess we'll do maybe some tiny little French knots down for the little stamens. Unless we want to do like a chain stitch for the stem or something. In fact, what did they do for the... I don't even know if they've done little bullions for the little leaf details down the bottom. Which you can do if you've got small leaves, but for this sort of a leaf, probably no. It'd be too much work to try and do the outline in bullion. Yeah, I can come back and do the stamens once I've done the flower, I think. I don't know if I should tighten this up a bit because I feel like I'm pressing on it with my finger and not really getting the benefit of the hoop. It wasn't actually that tightened, so that might be better now. I'm just aware these are quite old doilies though, so I don't want to strain them. Look at the design. Yeah, it's not fully, it doesn't go right up to the top, this little detail piece. Actually thinking after I've done this one, maybe I'll just pop it up to here. I'm going to do this one slightly longer than it is in the design. This one I'm thinking I might even be able to do as a single stitch. I do actually love the sound of needle and thread passing through lovely linen. These are such precious little gifts, the doilies from the past, and then for us to be able to add to them. This is the first doily I think I've used that's got a design for this stitch along that's already got a design on it. I think it's kind of fun to combine the present with the past, but the present in the form of an 1800s design that we're stitching in the 2020s. And it was amazing to see Sally from Dotty B. She had picked up some lovely vintage haul. She shared a whole video, which is well worth checking out. I love watching a vintage haul video. And she has a Briggs magazine or catalogue as well. So that was really interesting to see that with crinoline ladies and things. I don't think in this patent catalogue there were crinoline ladies. There are some figures and some children and things, which I think I might have kind of dismissed a bit when I first did the flip through, but I was actually looking at a few of them today, and a few of them do look rather lovely. There's one of a girl peering out a window, so who knows, that might be coming up. I want to give plenty of variety, so folks can find something that they want to stitch, but you can always obviously pick something else. If I pick something and it's not your vibe, you by no means have to do it. This is really just something that if you want to join in whatever way works for you, you are most welcome. And I just love to see what you do. If you pick another design, please do still share it in the Facebook group for slow stitching friends, which I'll have linked below the video. Now we can come down and do our little stamens. That's what they're called, isn't it? Stamen? I think so. Excuse me. Definitely a little hay fever cough. A little French knot there, so twist it around and then hold the thread as you pull it through to get a nice tight one. I'll do a French knot over here first, so just one wrap for these ones because I want them to be quite petite. Oops. Try not to, if you do get a knot, try and get it untangled and then still keep your thread nice and taut so that you get a nice tightness. Oops, and I definitely could feel something weird was going on at the back, so luckily I checked. It's like you develop a second sense sometimes until you're sitting there and you stitch through your skirt or your pants or your doona or your blanket or your, hopefully not through your dog, seeing I sometimes do my stitching on top of Travis. Haven't done it yet, and he would not be pleased. I'm sure he would let me know, as he should. That's why I was very happy recently to get from the lovely stall of Gladdy and Flo, I got that beautiful little tapestry cushion that I think I can use when I'm stitching with Travis down on the couch. I'll do this stamen, which comes down to a little sort of hearty shaped or a little spadey shaped shape. Oops, I feel I just need to join that little one up. I didn't quite get it as it needed to be. Okay, and then we'll do one of these little stamens. Do the little French knot first. Hold the thread as you pull it through. Get your nice little tight one. So these are like little pistol stitches. Got lots of videos to catch up on. I want to see what K3N is up to. I think I saw Christy, my friend from So Bits. Christy, she had a, I think her, was it her autumn? Yeah, her mossy, foresty scene where she's doing felting as well. So can't wait to see that. Okay, that looks good. And again, the back isn't looking so messy, which is quite amazing, really. I'm amazing myself. Okay. Why did I don't know why I just took it out of the frame. I honestly don't. I obviously got excited. Okay, so we can put this thread over with our other threads. Oops, and we don't need purple again. No, Christine, focus. Don't get excited. Don't get too excited. Hopefully this bit's not meant to actually, I think that bit's meant to be pink. If not, I'm going to have to go back and make it, actually that bit is meant to be green. I have made a boo-boo. I'm going to have to put some green over it. Oh well, that's good to show you. If you do make a boo-boo, what are the ways to correct it, including if you lose your needle. I was looking at it thinking, why does it look strange? I thought it was my stitching, and that's why I was going back and sort of adding another stitch, but I should have gone with my gut. There was something odd going on, because that's meant to be a little green bobble. But that's okay. I don't think we need to cut the stitches out. I think we can fix our issue. We can fix it. Yes, we can. Actually, I'll start up the top. And I've just brought a whole lot of fluff through from my table or from somewhere, goodness only knows. So I'm actually wondering, because I've got the stitches there, maybe I can just whip them. If I whip them really in, like fully wrap them, will that work? I think it will. We'll just have green over where and I might need to do some slightly sort of cheaty whippy where I have the stitch in, just to make sure we do get a full cover over it. So there's just a tiny bit of the purpley colour, oh sorry, pinky fuchsia colour showing through. Some of the stitches are a bit harder to get the needle under, but I think it's going to be fine. I'm virtually wrapping my fuchsia threads with the green. And it's probably okay if a tiny bit of the fuchsia shows, because you know how sometimes either the shiny leaves kind of reflect a bit of the colour, or sometimes the greens will have another sort of little tone mixed in with them. It's going to give this a good little, and it is a bit more bobbly, so it's kind of good that it's a bit more raised. See, I'm almost making it look like I did this on purpose, but no, I didn't. Now that little detailing, because I did have a little detailing stitch in the middle, so I think I'll need to wrap both of those with the thread. So apologies if anyone was stitching forward in real time with me. Generally, though, those joining in the chat, we're so busy chatting that we don't get that much stitching done, do we? Well, hopefully if you have a diagram of a fuchsia in front of you when you're doing your stitching before the video, you will have not made this error. But at least if you do make an error like this, here's the way to fix it. So that didn't take too long to get that little fix in place, and I think it's pretty good. If anything, do I want to, maybe I'll just put, there's just still a couple of little stitches, so I might just rework my way around this way and just do some in and out stitches, just covering anywhere where I can still see a bit of the purple. What I could actually do is fill this little one in. Maybe that's what I will do. So it won't be too hard now to just put some stitches into the centre and then sort of stitch over those. And I think that will look good in terms of the sort of the intensity of stitches. Probably do another stitch through that way and across that way. Probably bring another stitch in from the edge. Sometimes if you've kind of got a border stitches, it's nice to do that stitching over, because then you get that lovely sort of, yeah, raised effect. Yeah, I think that's quite good actually. And then, if I want to continue, are we just going to do a straight stitch, split stitch, whipped stitch? Maybe we'll do a whipped to continue sort of having a bit of texture to the stem. So I'll just do back stitch and then I'll come back and whip it, I think. That sounds like a plan. I might get the whole stem done, or do we do the leaves on our way? Maybe we do the leaves. Maybe the leaves can just be I think I'll just do a split stitch for the leaves. So you can have a different sort of texture consistency to the stem. Again, it's a nice luminous green, but I tried to pick colours that were kind of complementary to what was already on the doily. The fuchsias definitely are more fuchsia pink than the pink on the doily, but I think it goes well because the doily already has the purples. This definitely isn't in the colour scheme of my vintage family heirloom quilt, but it's nice to make some things for other purposes. I'm actually thinking I need to get more stitchy sort of gifts in my little repertoire, because I was looking around at what I have, and yeah, quite a few of my little stitchy gifts I've already gifted away. And it is so nice to have something when you're sending something to someone, just throw in a little, or meeting someone at a workshop, just have a little hand-stitched gift for them. Because if anything, they're the people that kind of understand and value the effort that goes into stitch pieces. I think I will. Actually, I'll come up here and do the middle of the stem. And I'll just do, I think I'll just do a back stitch for the middle. We're going for time, 20 minutes to go. Takes a bit of time, but it's not terribly onerous. Now this doesn't go right up to the top, so I might just take it to about there. And then I will just travel my stitches. I need to get down to here. I'll just travel it over to there, and then I will continue with my back stitch for my stem, which I'm going to come back and whip, I think, unless I think it looks good. It actually looks quite nice just as a back stitch actually, but we'll see. We'll decide. And I'm actually really happy with my little mistake / now intentional little green bit on the fuchsia. It's always good to have a picture with you when you're you're stitching. You're stitching something like a flower. I don't know. I think if I'm going to come back and whip, I don't need to do a double row of back stitches. I think I'll be able to get the effect just with the whipping. So I'll just stitch in the middle of where I had the outline drawn. I knew there was something happening. I should have turned it over on the previous stitch, but I think we'll still be able to fix a roux. Hopefully. If not, I might have to stitch it down afterwards. If I can't resolve the issue, let's just, what do we think? Or can I get it to go? No, I don't think I can. So, possibilities. Let's just, again, good to show you what to do if you get something like this. First of all, my thread's even catching on my needle. It must be getting a bit rough in the eye of my needle. Okay, let's just undo those last 2 stitches. And then let's bring this through to the, well, has it got caught on itself? Is that what's happened? Let's just get this through, and then let's see if we can loosen up the issue. If not, we will snip it off, and then we'll do some back stitches over it. That can become our new little end of the thread. Cut ourselves a new start of the thread to thread. I think it might be time to get myself a new needle, not right now, but for the next of the stitch-alongs. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll just put a stitch in and a stitch through where we had that one. Just maybe another stitch, and then I think that will be held adequately in place. I might just do one more stitch to be sure, and then we can continue on our way. If I'm running out of time, I can always edit out that little knotty bit, that naughty bit. But if not, I prefer to show warts and all, what happens when you're stitching and how to fix it. Sometimes those little knots will just kind of, pull out. But sometimes they're a bit more determined. Again, I'm amazed how even just a back stitch could actually look really lovely for a stem. Sometimes it's the simplest, but I think it is going to look good whipped as well. I might travel my way down to the bottom, I think now, because I do want to, or do I? Oops, undid that one. Or do I do the leaf while I'm here? indecisive, aren't I? I'm not sure what to do. I'll do the leaf. It'd be good to get to, I suppose it'd be good to get to the bottom, and then so I was doing split stitch for the leaf up there, but I think I might actually just do back stitch. Maybe not. No, it doesn't quite have the smoothness that I want. I'll go back to split. Doing a form of split back for a moment before I get myself into the rhythm for the split forward. Oops. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Fleur's workshop. We're going to be painting and doing Fleur's gorgeous style of sort of textural embroidery. So given I've only done the Nature's Textures workshop, I shouldn't say only done, it was the most incredible experience that's just inspired so much in my work subsequently. But yeah, I haven't done any other Fleur workshops, so this is going to be such a treat. And then next year's retreat at Green Door Studios will be, I think, kind of, yeah, building on the practice that we do in this workshop. So it'd be great to have a taster, in a sense, 3 days for this one, and then 5 days in March next year at Green Door, and see the lovely Zoe again. Eat Zoe's beautiful food. And I'm sure I'll see some of the folks from the last time I was at Fleur's workshop. Unfortunately, not the Roxy girls this time. Sarah will be busy teaching, and Rachel's obviously coming over to Australia at a different time of the year to do the workshops and have Christmas with the family. But it will be a joy to be amongst similar creatives. I'm just doing some straight stitches here. Again, I might do, probably still need to do 2. That's a bit too long to do a single stitch. I think I can do these as single stitches. And travel my way back down. Okay, and then we're back onto the stem. So back to our longer stretches of back stitch, because that's easier to kind of whip around. You can still do a double whip as well if you want. I think I will take this, I'm almost out of thread for this. So I take it down to the bottom for now. Because the stem gets a bit longer here, a bit thicker here, I might actually do 2 bits of the stem. I don't think I'll get any further than that, so I think I'll just tie it off there. think a single knot should be fine. Okay, and then we'll thread up a bit more. I'm going to just have a look if I've got a different needle. I don't know if that's one of my chenilles or if I've worn the gold off it, because this one does just feel like it's getting a bit scratchy around the eye. No, I don't think this is a chenille needle. It's got a bit more heaviness. Okay, so I'm going to come up with, again, just doing my back stitch. But now we're outlining the sort of thicker bit down the bottom. And then we'll come up and do the leaves, and then we'll whip. So again, for the leaves, I'll do the split stitch for the outline and then straight stitches for the center. But again, you do what appeals to you. Hopefully I give you ideas and you can take them, or you can play with other ideas. There's no right or wrong in this. The main thing is to enjoy yourself and enjoy the process, and hopefully enjoy the product as well. But most of all, enjoy the process. If you're not enjoying it, yeah, maybe take a break from it, or work out what it will take to enjoy the process. Sometimes it's just our own mindset about our own work being hypercritical might sort of take enjoyment away. Whereas if you can kind of, release that a bit, because often with these things it's the sort of the layering of stitches, the creation of the whole piece. You kind of need to see what it wants to become and allow it to do that. Because sometimes when you look at something like this leaf at the moment, you'd go, oh, well, that's a bit not looking that good, but I'm sure by the time I finish putting all the stitches in, it's going to look like a leaf, hopefully. Hopefully I don't prove myself wrong. But I try and just sort of, do the stitching. There's the odd time I'll undo something, or the odd time I'll make a mistake and I'll be like, no, really can't have a pink top on a fuchsia. It has to be the green. But the great thing is you can fix things. Or worst case, just undo some stitches. If only life was that easy, hey? Or maybe it's just the way we see life sometimes. Maybe if we saw it in the playful sense that we apply to our creativity. If we saw things we do and things that don't go quite right and just said, yep, that's a creative experiment. Okay, and then I'll come up the centre. Oops, I brought some purpley fluff through from goodness knows where. Go up to the top first and then work our way back down. We'll just need to put a little split stitch in to fill that little gap there. And then I think even though the design doesn't come all the way back to here, I think I want to bring this one back to there. And then here, I don't think I want the stem to be, I think I'll just do a regular back stitch out to there for the stem, and then we'll do the split stitches from here. Oops. So again, split stitches around the outline. You can do them relatively longish when they're... I'm sorry, my phone's just telling me it is running out of battery. So I might just need to just do a quick plugging in and hopefully not pull over something in the process. Just a moment. Hopefully I don't stop the recording while I'm doing this. Hopefully it's even turned on, but we shall see. Stitch okay. I think I just did something a bit bodgy there while I was distracted. So I'll just pop back in here and fix that up a smidge. Oops. I think I'm speeding along because I think I might even with my little bodgy moments, I might even be able to get this done in the hour without breaking. So I do think I just need to quickly check that my iPad is actually plugged in and turned on. Yes, it is. Sorry, you heard rustling as I stepped on some tissue paper. Probably should edit those bits out, but if I can make this within the hour or close to within the hour, I'll probably leave them in. These are the realities of a stitch along. If I can find other ones that are about this length, I could even do a live stitch along, because it is nice to be able to finish the piece and show you what it looks like. I might just bring this down slightly different to how the design is, because I just want it to come back into a less thick stem. Just going to bring it over here. I'm just going to see if my iron, because we are going to need my iron at the end, so I'm just going to put that down for a moment to wake it up. And then we'll come up here and do our stitches. Just go to do my jumping stitches up to the top and then work my way back down so I'm ready to do the whipping of the stem. Just checking the back to make sure I didn't have any knots. I don't need any knots at this juncture. Sometimes the designs kind of have what looks like a strange sort of outlining of the leaves, but I try and, unless it looks real, no, I think that does actually work. Okay, Christine, don't get carried away. So we're going to now whip the stem, including the little thicker section of the stem at the bottom. So with whipping, I'm going to come through underneath the stitches. I'll probably just do a single whip, I think will be fine. You can use the non-sharp end if you find it's catching too much for you. So far, so good. See, you know, that corner worked okay. Sometimes you just have to play around a bit with when you're going around a corner. And it just gives a lovely depth, especially when you don't catch on the side of your embroidery ring. Hoop, lovely depth to the stitches. So now I'll bring it over so it meets. I do feel like I'm missing a tiny little stem stitch, or tiny little stitch for the stem there, and then I'll just come up and continue on. I might do a double wrap here just to start to narrow down from where the thicker stem is. Oops, and I've gone under 2 stitches. I don't want to whip the leaf at the same time. What have I done? I'm still whipping the leaf. I'm just going to rethread. I'm a tiny bit over the hour, but I think we'll be done within an hour and a tiny bit, so I think that will be fine. Oops, got the fluff again. Just checking the iron's getting nice and warm. And up here I'll just need to poke it behind and then just pop up for the rest of the stem whipping over here. I did these back stitches a bit finer, but that's okay. I can still get underneath them. So yeah, whipping's a really lovely way to just add, and I think that feeds in beautifully to the little cap on the fuchsia. The fuchsia. Okay, so let's quickly pop ourselves out. Let's quickly, is my iron going to come over here? Slightly on camera, slightly not. Nope, not quite going to fit, so I'm just going to take this over to the ironing board. Off camera for a moment. I will be back with you in the merest of moments once I've given it a good old iron. And there we go. That is, oops, on camera. That's the beautiful fuchsia. I am very, very pleased with that, and just an hour and 3 minutes even with my bodging around. So I hope you enjoyed that, folks. Thank you so much to those who've joined live. Thank you to everyone who's watching it. And you can join even if you're not watching live. You can comment below. Let me know what you think of this and if you're going to give this a go as well. There's links to the patterns, etc., and all the info in the description below this video. Thanks, everyone. Bye.